And we are live. Welcome everybody to another special episode of Smile Your Own Camera podcast, hosted by yours truly, Lourenzo Smith, blessed and humble, working out of Los Angeles. Today we have another special guest, friend of the show, my guy Joshua Rhodes, the creative director, founder of the Last Adam Clothing and Design Studio. Without further ado, take it away. Introduce yourself to the folks.
Man, what up, Zo? Yeah, Joshua Rhodes here. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Just been in LA for about 5 years, designing, working, some corporate jobs, going to and fro, different jobs, and then started my own brand, The Last Adam, about a little over a year and a half ago, and kind of just been plugging and grinding.
So what I know it's like a faith based brand, but like explain like how you came up with the concept, like what really went into making what it is, what we see today.
Yeah, so it's a faith-based brand, just in the sense where the things that are inspiring me to create come from my spiritual beliefs and my faith. And The Last Adam kind of just came from wanting to do something that represented something important to me. So I've never really been a fashion guy. I've just always been style guy growing up. And I was just always wearing stuff that really spoke to what I cared about, whether it was, tour merch like Kanye stuff or, Michael Jordan jerseys, Kobe sneakers. And then as I got older, I kind of realized nothing existed that spoke to what I really truly care about. And that's my faith. Mm-hmm. Nothing existed that I wanted to wear in my closet. Let's put it that way.
I got you.
And then when I had that kind of thought about 7 years ago, and then it took a little while before I heard something that sparked me to say, okay, that's going to be it. And that's when I was in church and heard the phrase, the last Adam, which comes from 1 Corinthians. And it means Jesus. The first Adam is Adam, a living being. Mm-hmm. The last Adam is Jesus Christ, a living spirit, life-giving spirit.
Gotcha.
So I heard that, told myself, okay, that's it. And it was more about waiting till I think I had something important to design for and to say, rather than just wanting to drop a clothing line. So when I had that name, that took the reins of how I was going to create and the Last Adam's brand and what, the look of it. And so I would just say that it was more about thinking about what I wanted to communicate, not just have a faith-based brand with words like God and Holy Spirit and, stuff that's already out there. Mm-hmm. I wanted to really wear something that I wanted to rock. I felt like I could drip with, and then also, what are we saying more than just God? So we try and really speak like the name, The Last Adam, actually has a lot of meaning, just even in the name of a man and God, and that's who Jesus was. So we wanted to talk about that.
Gotcha. So it's functional, it's comfortable, personally speaking, and it's faith-based. That's beautiful. So you grew up just like wanting to be in the fashion space, but you didn't necessarily want to be just a fashion guy like another brand. You want to bring something to the table.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't even say I grew up wanting to be in the fashion space. That was not anything. I think like most of us, like you tell me, like a lot of the Black community, because streetwear wasn't a term.
No, not at all.
That's a new thing. Sneakerheads is a new thing. Like we just liked sneakers. I think it was more about style. I think a lot of us were just into style, and that's what connected us, going to school, someone wearing the questions, the Iverson questions, someone wearing the Kobe's, and then you guys were connected because you both argued over who was better, and that was your homie. And that's what I cared about. And that's, I don't really care about fashion in a sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so my dream wasn't to be creating clothes or be into that. I just liked style. But the two roads, style and design, they connected when I got older, and it was like I realized nothing in my closet was representing that, because I was like the Yeezy guy. I always had all Kanye merch since I was 16 years old. Mm-hmm. I was the Kobe guy. I always had Kobe t-shirts and jerseys and hats. And it was just one day I was just like, man, people know me for this other stuff because of my style. why can't they know me for
My
my
own brand.
faith? Because of my
Exactly.
style.
Gotcha.
So that's when the dream started. So I wouldn't say it's because I wanted to get into it. It just didn't exist for me. So
That's what's up. So speaking of Kanye, we both fans. Let me correct myself. We're both fans,
yeah.
and seeing the transition from him going from like a very worldly, not in faith. Well, he's always had like sprinkles and touches of Christianity and like gospel music. What do you see in like the transition for him being like saved and like really bringing his faith to the forefront?
I mean, yeah, it was kind of weird to be honest, because it was like, yeah, like you said, he's always been like Jesus Walks came out his first album, and that's what really that essentially probably it sounds so crazy to say it changed my life because it's like it was a song, but it really did bring this new like passion to be it's okay to like talk about my faith. Jesus Walks was the number one song talking about Jesus
In the clubs.
in the clubs on a Rockefeller album. So it was so big. So when he started, and he always like the Christian and Christian Dior, they don't make him like this anymore. He was always dropping stuff. But so it was weird when he was like, I'm a new follower of Christ. But then I realized that that's some people's journey is that they believe Jesus is God, but following him is a completely different thing. So when he started when he went all in, it just felt like, okay, this is his journey and it's self-expression. People like try to judge it, but how can you judge someone's personal, like their self-expression of where they're at? So I just try and do that. I think it's like, it's cool, but you know, it's like, the thing I like about it is he's just being honest. And that's what I try and do when I create. I'm just telling you where I'm at with what I'm designing. Yeah.
Would you say you have any inspiration from like him or anyone within that like Donda family? Because I know Jerry also has a faith-based brand, and who else? Who just went to what's his name? Matt Williams. He's also really strong in like faith.
Oh yeah.
Did you look at those guys' inspirations at all?
I mean, yeah, because they're so good at what they do. Like, it's not like you know, it'd be like a basketball player like looking at Jordan for inspiration. It's like, well, yeah, because he's like the GOAT at what you're doing, but you know, but it's Jordan. You know, it's like, but I just think more in the sense of because like when I had this dream of the last Adam, fear of God didn't exist yet. You know, Kanye wasn't doing Jesus Kid. It was like 6-7 years ago that this thought. So, but I would just say Kanye was the biggest inspiration for me because of Jesus Walks and because of him being an outward Christian, creating and also almost walking in these two worlds like we're supposed to do. Like it's not like he separated himself to make Jesus Walks and then came back and you know it's like it was just one. It seems like now he's probably doing that a little more where he's kind of separated with like Jesus is King and Sunday service.
Yeah.
But I think like when I look at like Fear of God, Jerry Lorenzo and Matthew, it's like that is an inspiration just in the sense of being able to create and not have to feel like you're separating yourself and like, okay, when I want to design for my brand, I'm this person. And then when I just want to go walk out my house, I'm this person. And that's probably the biggest inspiration I see from them more than like design wise is that I wanted to fully be me and create something that's important to me and feel like I'm not, you know, having to compromise who I am for my design. And I think it's part of like trying to design stuff that is just relevant to culture, even though it's saying something that might be faith-based.
Yeah.
That's like the trick. And so I think I'm doing it. And that's what like, I think Jerry does like, but you know, those like, we're talking about someone who's like, you know, I'm making like, and that's another thing is I'm making streetwear. I'm not trying to act like it's not like I want my price points to be affordable on the streets, like at the low level of like a $45 t-shirt. Yeah.
That's what's up. So going into that, I know COVID's really like shocked a lot of creatives and like halted their process. I know for me being a photographer, it's kind of hard. So working on projects and stuff, like how's COVID shifted your mental, like in a sense?
Yeah. You know, I'm like, I think it's more for me, it kind of feels like a normal design day, because with a designer, you like haul up and you just pull your laptop out and you're in it. And I could be in it for hours and not even look up. And I think I don't know, the pandemic allowed me to almost not have distractions, because it's weird. That's kind of what I want. Like before the pandemic, you would want a few days to just hunker down and just create. And it's tough because of you got people you got to see, and you got a full-time job you got to go to. So I got furloughed. So that was like a big shift, but it allowed me to really just, okay, I guess I'm just going to focus and work. Not saying that like I want it to be this way forever, but I think for me, it felt like one of those random few days that I get throughout the year where I can really just sit and design and not be bothered. It just felt like an extended version of that. So I think for everybody, it was a little different. Yeah, like a photographer, it'd be completely different because now you're not out in the world, doing your thing. But for the most part, I have so many ideas that I don't really have a chance to sit down and try and create them and bring them to fruition that are just back there. And the pandemic allowed me to just like, tap into some of these ideas and like really design. So I'm like set for the next, 7 months on just ideas that I have. And I can't wait to start them. But the pandemic kind of allowed me to do that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think people had to just adjust personally. It wasn't like 2020 was such a rough year, but I talk about this to my homies and to my fiance is like, there's always a blessing in every storm. There's always something. So 2020 for me, even though there was a lot of like tragic things that happened, starting with Kobe.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah, RIP to the GOAT. But it was like, I couldn't deny that there were still blessings in this year. If it was all a trash year, then, I'd be the most depressed person ever. But I got to be honest, there were days where the sun was shining throughout the midst of all this, and including like, I proposed this year and all this stuff. So the same thing with design. It's like, okay, what's going to be the good about this? Oh, okay, I got time to go through all these designs, and I don't have anything bugging me for the next, for the next while. So yeah.
That's beautiful. It's crazy that you say that because I think the only person I told was my fiance as well was that I got furloughed for like, it was like 3 or 4 months and no one knew. I was just like, I was able to literally work on like projects. And at that time, when I shot with you for the collection, I was not working.
Wow.
It was crazy, but I used that time where I was they would call me like once a week or like twice a week to just like help out. And then I would just be downtime. And I used that to literally focus like, what do I want to do with this studio I built out? What do I like? Do I need to get more staff? Like, how do I put all this together? And it's crazy you said that. Like, there was definitely like little bits and pieces of happiness that came out of 2020. And you got engaged. And I remember
you got engaged too?
Yeah, it was wild. I remember you came and we were linking up about the clothes, and you're like, man, I feel like a weight just went off my shoulders. And I was telling you, I was like, dude, I'm gonna propose this weekend. And you're like, wow, good luck, bro. Like, just let me know if anything. And it was a whirlwind of emotions. That's probably like the second biggest thing I've ever done in my life. How was that for you?
Same thing. Did it feel one funny thing I felt, and I've asked a couple of people, it felt like she knew, because the whole thing was trying to keep it a secret. You had to be creative with it. I kept feeling like, she knows. There's no way she doesn't know. Did you feel that way?
I see it was so crazy. I scheduled a nail appointment, and the nail place was next door to the one we walked into. So that completely threw off the whole night. So the lady was like, I don't have your appointment. And I'm just like, oh my God. And that like time I wasn't thinking. And we walked in. So I couldn't be like, oh, let's go to the place next door. Because they're going to be like, oh, did she get her nails done? And then they would have given it away. So so we literally found a new spot. She got her nails done. And I was like, oh, I got to go. I actually got a shoot I got to go to. And then her like childhood friend was here and helped me set up. It was nuts. Wow. But yeah, I definitely thought like, I was like, oh, she knows now. Like, it's ruined. And when it happened, she was just like, it was so happy. So yeah.
Yeah, that thought of like, oh man, it's ruined. She knows. That took me all the way up until the night before. Mm-hmm. But yeah, other than that, Yeah, it was definitely the biggest thing I've ever done. I mean, it's got to be. But I think it's a good example of like people in 2020 where I think a lot of people were focused on this. This is a sucky year. I just saw on Instagram all day. Oh, this year sucks. Let's skip to 2021, and it's like people were being born this year. People were getting married this year.
Married.
Still, people get engaged, and it's the same thing when we create or design, and we got things are happening. And it's like I got furloughed, but I also towards the end of this year got hired at a new job.
Yeah.
I'm like, so it's just God's moving no matter what is happening. So
He never stops, which is crazy. I know you probably get the daily verse a day
oh
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
Bible
yeah.
app, and it's
Yep.
some days I'm just like, oh man, but then sometimes the word just speaks to you, and you're like, wow, it's like it was designed for me, which is crazy. So
Right.
that's just like something else I've been looking into for COVID. What projects you working on right now? If you can share anything.
Yeah, so what can I share? I have some really big things coming. I'm trying to think if I can share it. No, okay, so well for my brand right now, we
Mm-hmm.
got some some really good like I'm always creating for the brand for number one. That's a 24/7. Like it's just super fun for me. So we got, new hats coming out, new hoodies and things coming out for kind of the winter time. And then yeah, man, I really want to share like
It's all good.
stuff, but I will just say like, yeah, it's gonna be a busy early 2021. Like I've
Okay.
got a lot of projects coming up and hold on, let me show you my new hat, bro.
Oh yeah, let me see that.
We got the Embrace Heaven hat dropping, you know,
Trucker.
trucker,
Yes,
the
sir.
brown
Ski.
Embrace Heaven trucker. So yeah, I'm always, it's just always creating, just always bringing stuff in, and hopefully like people like it and it hits, and I just give people like something in their closet they can rock, and then we just started prints
Mm-hmm.
online, so a lot of the designs I create. It's because like this whole thing wasn't really about clothing; it was about just designing, and clothes were the median.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the designs, the median's different. So we have prints online now, so people can order some of our designs and get them framed and printed. And so that just started. So yeah, we're just gonna keep going.
That's what's up, brother. What music you listen to? That's one thing I always ask people on the pod.
Ooh, I'm trying to think what's new. I popped in the new. Do you listen to the new Ty Dolla album?
Yeah, it was cool. I got to like think like track 7, and I was like, it didn't seem like cohesive. That was the thing that kind of
Right.
made me. I was kind of sad.
He's my guy, so I popped that in, and I got to give it some spins because he's my guy. So that's probably the newest thing, but it's for me it's always man, just always ends up going back to Travis right now, Travis Scott. He's
Yeah.
just like that franchise got me hyped for the next one, Utopia, the new album, man. And then always Ye. It's like the Spotify top listens every single number one is always Kanye.
It's crazy. I had an argument the other day with someone. I was just like, they're like, why do you stand him so much? And I was like, it's not the act of standing him. It's more of just like he's transitioned music so much. Like people look at Drake and it's like, damn, Drake can do anything. I'm just like, look at what Kanye has done. He gave us a rock album that was
Right.
the craziest production ever. He gave us a perfect rap album. He gave us 2 gospel albums because I count College Dropout as a gospel album with a lot of cursing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then he gave us a very raw, unfiltered Life of Pablo. Like those are like when I listen to music, I'm like, can someone give me that? Like
Right.
the bars aren't. They're not. He's not gonna give you Jay-Z bars every time, but like the sonics from the song, can I blast this in the car and just feel like the world is gonna, it's gonna move? Like that's how I listen to music. So like it's just I think he's just the GOAT. Like there's nothing he can't do.
100%. You're speaking to the choir. Like, but that's why I always go back to him because I always find myself comparing. Like, I'm like, especially with hip hop, and I love all genres, but hip hop's my favorite genre. So I'm listening to a lot of hip hop, and a lot of times I just go, I think I'd rather just listen to. This sounds like their version of College Dropout. I might as well just go listen to College Dropout or Late Registration. It sounds like their version of Yeezus. I might as well just go listen to Yeezus or Pablo. So yeah, I'm always going back to Ye because the mood always fits.
No matter what. Did you listen to Amine's new album?
Oh, I started it. I didn't finish it, but I started it.
It's literally gives me like a younger Kanye, like from the samples that him and T minus used. I was like, oh, this sounds like young Kanye, like he's getting into that bag, which is amazing. What else have I listened to?
I gotta give it the whole run. So I probably the newest album I keep going back to is Nas's too. By the way, yeah, Nas's is front to back. Hit Boy, man.
Him, Hit Boy is on a bro. He's amazing. That listening to that what's the Benny the Butcher album?
Yeah, man.
It's not fair.
I got a question for you though. I got a question. Maybe it's because I'm older.
Yeah.
I don't know how long we're going, but
There you go.
do you I've gotten older, and then man, it sounds even so weird to say out loud. Lyrics about gun violence and killing are a little harder for me. Do you feel that way?
It is in the sense of when I listen to it, I'm just like, oh damn, I live in LA, like that could happen. Let me not, because I'm a big person. I'm big on like energy.
Right.
So, like, I love Big Sean. So like he talks about that in his music. He's like, I try not to talk about that kind of stuff because that brings that energy to you.
Exactly.
Like when you're bumping Nip, you're like, damn, this sounds good. But I'm just like, yo, I'm going to Whole Foods. I'm not trying to be on that type of time. So,
or Pop Smoke that happened was that 2022?
I listened to his album one time.
Was that 2020?
Yeah,
or
that was
yeah.
Yeah, it was 2020. Like his album dropped.
Like, yeah, when I listened to
it's scary. He's talking about what happened to him.
Exactly. So how do you feel? Yeah. So you're saying, so like when Benny's album, right? I'm listening and I go, okay, let me get this edited version real quick. For real, because I want to hear it and I need to go through it. But it's sometimes that energy, I can't go all the way. So with some of these albums, and that's another reason why I go to Trav and I go to, because
they're not talking about that.
Yeah, it is a little different for me. Maybe it's because I'm older, maybe because I'm in LA and it's the energy.
100%. Yeah. With music, I've just been chilling, listening to the same thing. I just got into my Brent Faiyaz bag. He's amazing.
Who?
Brent Faiyaz.
I don't even know him.
He's like a R&B singer. Fire. You should give him a spin. He just dropped it's a little bit more explicit, but you could get into that. What else I wanted to chat about? Oh, we got this segment called a smile moment. So what was something that made you smile in 2020? And then from that, what are you looking forward to 2021 before we get out here?
I mean, I said the proposal, but that feels cheap. So I already used that. So something that made me, does it have to be deep or is it just anything?
No, whatever.
Yeah. Lakers.
That was amazing.
That was.
And the Dodgers. Wow.
The Dodgers, that's crazy that they both went out. Yeah. But I'm not a Dodger fan. I'm here in LA, but I'm from Washington State. So I grew up a Seattle Mariners fan for baseball. But it was Kobe when I was 8 years old. So I just attached on the Kobe train. And then, so I've been watching Lakers since I was 8. And man, every championship was like crazy. I can remember, I had 5 my lifetime. Mm-hmm. And then this was number 6 for my lifetime. And I'm here in LA and it's this pandemic, it's 2020. So that was like, wow, I can't believe we got a title with me being here in LA. This is crazy. That was a smile moment.
What are you looking forward to 2021?
January 2021, I got some big projects coming out. So I'm just looking forward to like just the creating process. It just feels like a lot of things, like we talked about, a lot of things, blessings just kind of came through this 2020. So I think 2021 will be a good time to like almost like exhale from this year and then just get to creating a lot of this stuff. So I'm just looking forward to designing that first quarter when it hit the ground moving. I got some really good projects, really good stuff coming.
That's what's up. Tell the folks where they can reach you before we get out of here.
You can go straight to the brand, The Last Adam. It's The Last Adam Official on Instagram. And we have a Twitter also. We don't really use much, but thelastadam.com. And yeah, that's pretty much where I want to send people because that's the those are the designs or creations coming out for the most part right now. So yeah.
That's what's up, bro. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video on YouTube. The audio should be out shortly everywhere where you can listen to podcasts if that's your thing. Thanks for the support. Follow us, Slated Vision, on Instagram, on Twitter, and another great episode with my guy Joshua Rhodes. And have a good rest of your day, brother.
My man Zoe, appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
You too.